My name is Chris McKenzie and I'm the Business Manager of Statewide Operations within the Office of Fair Trading. This is a copy of the public information session we delivered in August and September of 2014. Thank you for your time to watch the presentation about the changes resulting from the repeal of the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act 2000 and its replacement with the Property Occupations Act, the Motor Dealers and Chattel Auctioneers Act, the Debt Collectors Act and the Agent Financial Administration Act. We appreciate that you're all very busy people and appreciate your investment in time to learn of these changes and how they impact on your business operations. This table summarises how existing licensees will be transitioned into the new licensing framework. When the new legislation starts, each licensee and salesperson will be automatically transitioned into a category under the new Act. You will not have to pay a fee when your license is transitioned. When your license is up for renewal, you can either choose to renew the new licenses you were transitioned, or you may choose to only renew one. You will have to then pay the renewal fee. The PAMDA Act provides 9 categories of license. Property. Existing license types will be consolidated into 3 license categories. They are real estate agents, auctioneers and resident letting agents. Auctioneers now have separate laws for different types of auctions. You will be transitioned into 2 separate licenses. To auction vehicles or other goods, including livestock, you will need a Chattel Auctioneers licence under the Motor Dealers and Chattel Auctioneers Act. And to auction real estate, you will need an auctioneer's licence under the Property Occupations Act. You will only pay one application fee. There is no fee for the second licence category. Motor dealer licences and registration certificates, including brokers and wreckers, have not changed. On the licence matrix, you'll identify what was current under the PAMDA Act and what the transitional licences will be. For example, a real estate agent under PAMDA will continue to be a real estate agent under the Property Occupations Act. A resident letting agent under PAMDA will continue to be a resident letting agent under the Property Occupations Act. For an auctioneer, you will transition across into the Property Occupations Act as an auctioneer for property and under the Motor Dealers and Chattel Auctioneers Act as a chattel auctioneer. A pastoral house manager will be transitioned to a real estate agent, while a pastoral house director of corporation will be transitioned to a real estate agent and chattel auctioneer. A pastoral house auctioneer will be transitioned to both an auctioneer of property and chattel auctioneer licences. Under the new Act, commercial agents will be known as debt collectors, and they only need a licence to collect debts, repossess and process serve face-to-face. If you conduct this type of work, you will be licensed as a field agent. Individual or corporations who collect debts by phone or in writing, i.e. not face-to-face, will be known as collection agents and will not need a licence. However, you must still follow the laws set out in the new Act. For example, if you're appointed by a client, you will need to have the appointment in writing, regardless of whether or not you are required to hold a licence under the Act. Property developers will not require a licence. Their current licences will expire on the day that the new Acts commence. This table shows some examples of how multiple licences will be transitioned. The list is not exclusive. Not all combinations are listed, but it will give you an idea of how transitions licences. The registration certificate for a real estate salesperson remains the same. Under the new Act, a registered salesperson can be in charge of a second place of business. However, the principal licensee must still be in charge of a registered office. A salesperson cannot run a place of business if there is a condition on their registration certificate. Pastoral house salesperson. Your registration certificate will be transitioned into a real estate salesperson under the new Property Occupations Act 2014, as well as an auctioneer licence under the Property Occupations Act 2014 and chattel auctioneer under the Motor Dealers and Chattel Auctioneers Act 2014. Trainee auctioneers will no longer be a category of registration. You will be transitioned into both a property auctioneer and shuttle auctioneer under the new Act. This means that you will be able to conduct an auction according to the conditions on your licence and have 12 months to complete your training modules and apply for the appropriate auctioneer's licence. The registration certificate for a property developer salesperson will be transitioned to a real estate salesperson. The registration certificate for a motor salesperson remains the same. Employees of licensed field agents will continue to be registered as field sub-agents. This will allow them to collect debts face-to-face. Employees will be transitioned to a field sub-agent registration certificate. The Auctioneer and Agents Act 1971 did not allow multiple categories to be included under the one licence number. This was changed for licences issued under the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act 2000, as licensees with multiple licences then received one licence number. When the new acts commence, each licensee will hold one licence number, which will be the same for each category of licence held, even though the licences may be issued under a different act. For example, a real estate agent who is a property auctioneer and a shuttle auctioneer will have one licence number for all three categories, even though they are licensed under two different acts, the Property Occupations Act and the Motor Dealers and Shuttle Auctioneers Act. The one licence number only applies to the PAMDA Split Acts. It does not apply to other licences and registration certificate holders of other acts administered by the Office of Fair Trading, such as Security Providers Act or Second Hand Dealers Act. In that scenario, the licensee registration certificate holder will still have two separate licence numbers under those respective acts. Trust accounts will be linked with each transitioned licence. For example, a trust account on a current auctioneer's licence will be linked to both property and shuttle auctioneer licences under these new acts. Licences and registration certificates that are expired, cancelled or surrendered will not be transitioned. Licences and registration certificates that are suspended or deactivated at the time of transition will remain suspended or deactivated under the new acts. The terms of suspension will continue to apply. Transition licences and registration certificates will expire on the expiry date issued under PAMDA, except for those trainee auctioneers, which will expire 1 year from the date of the new acts commence. All conditions issued under PAMDA will continue under the new acts, unless that condition is repealed, out of date, or no longer required. Thank you for watching this presentation. There are more presentations in this series available on YouTube. You can visit our website and keep in touch with us in a variety of ways.